I love everyone here. The coaching staff's great. I'm excited to go win games.
So where were you last night? And noticed a bunch of elks heads on the
Yeah.
If you could sit some of the background
Yeah, we were just in Gooding, where I'm from, my aunt and uncle's house. They got a little bigger house, better spot for the draft party. And, yeah, there's just a couple elk in the back. They got animals all over their walls, cows, hides, and all that. So
Colston, you said you were surprised. How did somebody there already have a Loveland Bears jersey?
that was crazy, right? That was crazy, yeah. Long time, friend. But yeah, I heard he had a 18 Loveland Bears jersey. I was like, no way. He's been saying it for the last 4 years. He's like, you're gonna go to my Bears. So that was actually really cool.
What number are you going to wear?
I haven't decided yet. Yeah, we're still working on it.
Everybody talks about, you did rodeo as a kid. How late into your life were you doing that, and what events were you doing?
Yeah, that was early on. It was like third to fifth grade, maybe, I think. And I was doing it was junior rodeo, so I was doing like goat tying, goat flanking, riding calves, steers, like nothing too crazy at all. But yeah, stopped at fifth. It was like fifth grade. I remember talking to my mom, and I was like, man, she's like, do you want to go buy horses, trailers, saddles, and all this? Or you just want to keep playing football, basketball, the other sports? I was like, yeah, you're right. We'll just stick to that. So that's how that ended.
Last night, Ryan Poles described you and said Idaho tough. What does that mean to you?
I think it means just like where I'm from, really Idaho as a whole is just like all everyone does there is just work, and like seeing how my parents grew up and they just work their butts off. And everyone in the community, very blue collar. I think it's just a different lifestyle out there, and I'd say that's what Idaho tough is. Yeah, it's just growing up that way. It's different. I wouldn't say a lot of people were built for it, but I think it's a blessing to come from there. I learned a lot of lessons, and it's going to take me a long ways.
Colston, so did you grow up I think this is pretty foreign to some of us who didn't grow up around cattle and all of that. Like, can you explain did you branded cows? You like the whole story, the pre-draft story about branding cows and then taking a nap and then going to football practice. Like, what was that?
Yeah, so you brand calves, baby cows, calves. You brand calves, like that's your ownership, because you got them in the fields. You want to know what they're yours. So my aunt and uncle, same spot we had the draft party, they got a bunch of cows. So they always have a branding every year in the spring, like April. And yeah, it's pretty much probably like 800 head. So we're out there, in the morning. It's like you're in a group, so it's two people. Let's say I'm holding the head, so I'll flank it. I'll be on the head, and then someone's on the legs, on the back legs, holding the legs. And you'll brand it, vaccinate it, clip the ear, do whatever. So yeah, that's what branding is. And then we normally get a missed school. Don't tell anyone. We normally get a missed school to do that, which is nice. And then I go to practice right after. But yeah, stuff like that was always fun. It was like just a get together, spend time with the family, friends, and get some work done.
I assume this is on a farm, like you're.
Yeah, and like in corrals. Yeah.
Did you skip it this year, or did you do it this year?
No, I did actually. When I was home 2 days before draft, we branded some calves. Yeah, I didn't get too crazy, but yeah.
Colston, what was it like for you when you left from your hometown and you get to Michigan and you got teammates that are from bigger cities, Detroit, Chicago, wherever? What was it like for you just getting to know them and hearing their backgrounds that I know it sounds very different from what you're telling us right now about yours?
Yeah, I feel like I've always been pretty personable and I love meeting new people, and so it was different for sure. I didn't know anyone in Michigan when I got there. But it made it just being on a team helps a lot, and just like our class was super close in the dorm, so it made friends pretty easy. And then, like I said, being on the team, you're around them every day, so you get to know people. And I loved going to Michigan. I love trying new things, meet new people. So it's nothing new.
How do you think that your upbringing and everything that you just explained to us that you've lived through, how do you think that has lended itself to your football and your success on the football field?
I think just like I was talking about earlier, like just hard work, consistency, just doing the best you can do, better than everyone else around you, So I think that's just how, I feel like that correlates pretty well to the football field. And there's a lot of lessons for sure you can do both ways.
Ryan Poles said last night that you were talking about your hands, and you mentioned something about putting up wire fences.
Yeah.
Was that a common for you?
Yeah, my brother in the back too, we'd always lay fence down, build fence. So you lay it down in the winter. But most of the time it breaks anyway, so you got to put the fence back up. But yeah, like if you ever played with some barbed wire, it's tough. it'll rip you up for sure.
Sharon Moore talked about your route running a little bit ago. Like, when did you know you were good at it? Are there any receivers, tight ends that you tried to, model any intricacies of how they run routes and what you do?
Yeah. So I was like a receiver growing up, and shout out to my brother too. He was a receiver as well. So I kind of just was following his footsteps. So I've always ran routes. I think that kind of just naturally over time helped me. But then I think this last year I took a big step, and I was saying out there just the little details that create way more separation. And like, for example, like I watched a lot of Nico Collins. Obviously he's a receiver, bigger body though, and I think that I could take a lot of tools from his bag. So stuff like that. Sam Laporta, I was also a big fan of watching him. Similar guys that kind of move the same as me, like Evan Ingram even. So I think, just kind of just watching that tape, and then, like I said, with the details, I think that has definitely helped my route running. Still got a lot to improve on, though, for sure, and I'm excited.
Colston, I know you expressed optimism about your shoulder. What current restrictions are you dealing with, and what's the best case timetable for when you'll be ready to roll?
Yeah, so it's 6 months was the timetable. We're 3 out right now. And it feels great. I got full range of motion and everything. I can do really everything but just like super heavy weight. So right now, we're in a good spot. Running, can catch balls. So,
was there frustration for you in having the surgery as late as you did, hoping that you would avoid it?
Yeah, it was frustration, but I'm a believer in God, and I thought, He's got a plan for me, and it's all going to work out in the end, which, it did.
But you played through that during the season, right? It happened in September. Like, was that something that was noticeable for you? Like, was it pain that you had to deal with?
Yeah, oh yeah. I remember, it was like week 3, I think. I sat out the next week, and then, kind of just every time you're landing on it or catch a ball or block someone, it hurt. So, but after a couple weeks, it kind of just got better. And then, I didn't know I needed it, and then found out I had to get it, but all good now.
At what point in the process did you start to hear your name being mentioned as a potential top 10 pick? Was that like early on in the process? Did it pick up steam a little later for you? When did you actually start to hear that amongst your own campus? You may be a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I think it was pretty late for sure because I didn't do anything throughout this process, just interviews, obviously. And you never really have an idea where you're going, so I'm always assuming the worst. But yeah, once I got the call, it was like, man, I know I could be top 10, but to actually get the call and it's pretty special. It's a blessing for sure.
How did you get adjusted to the limelight of being in Michigan, especially the national champion year, and kind of being, the whole world is kind of watching you as opposed to from where you grew up? How did you kind of get adjusted to that?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. I feel like at the end of the day, it's just football. You're going out there and playing the same sport you've been playing since you've been growing up. And if you overthink it and think too much, I think it can kind of get in your way. But I just like to think, it's just football. I've been doing this for a long time. There might be a little more people in the stands, but just keep the main thing the main thing.
Can you take us back to your first touchdown in the horseshoe and what do you remember about that play and what was that moment like?
Yeah, that was super cool. I feel like that was kind of where I started, just elevated my game. It was like a corner pump, a little corner and up route, like a scissors concept. And that was the first touchdown. Pretty cool game to have a first touchdown. Wide open. So I was just thinking, just don't drop it. Literally just don't drop it and you got a touchdown. And it was pretty cool.
Didn't you?
Yeah, it was in the moment. I did shush him though. That was cool.
Couple more, please. Have you talked to Cole Kmet yet?
He actually texted me. He reached out, just said a nice message. Excited to get to work with you. Let's go win some games.
Sharon Moore was saying that you have a very strong opinion on LeBron versus Michael Jordan. We're in Chicago. I have to ask you what it is.
Yeah. Next question. No. Both great players.
What was it like when Harbaugh came out to Idaho?
Oh, that was cool. Yeah, that was cool. The town was buzzing for sure. When everyone knew like that when he came into town. But it was cool. He came in at night, stayed the night at my grandparents' place, and then we were talking. He's like, "What time are we working out tomorrow?" I was like, "Are you working out tomorrow?" He's like, "Yeah." I think we went in there at 7:30. He was in his slacks or in his khakis, in his shoes, doing squats with me. We did a whole workout, so it was pretty cool. But Coach Harbaugh, he's a great guy, and he loves meeting new people and doing new things. So it was super cool.
Growing up, who'd you idolize in sports? Like, who'd you root for in Idaho, professionally, any sport?
Yeah, I never really had like a team. Like you said, coming from Idaho, you kind of pick and choose wherever. So yeah, kind of just always just like watching it and players really. Mm-hmm.
All set. Colston, how do you describe Gooding? What's the town like?
Gooding?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the smallest town in Illinois, think of that. Just a bunch of land, horses, cows, pivots, windmills in the mountains. Yeah, there ain't much.
And you had to go to, is Boise the closest airport? Like, how did you get here?
Twin Falls, yeah, which is 40 minutes probably. So that's where we flew out of, but there's only like one flight in and out every day, so Boise's the spot.